Are we live yet?
Yeah.
See? Now we're live. StreamYard is really messing up. Anyway.
Grow up.
Grow
Grow
up,
up, StreamYard.
You're ruining us. You're ruining the show. Not really. I'm Brent Leary. Hello.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
We are the CRM Playaz. It's the first Thursday in July. I don't know what significance that has. I just thought I'd point that out.
You're saying it's the first Thursday, and then you went, "Did you lie?"
Well, there's a song called Prince called "Do You Lie."
Well, the first Thursday in July.
Well, that's not how it goes, but
Okay,
hey,
well.
we are the CRM Playaz. Glad to be here on a hot, scorching Thursday.
Miserable, horrible weather day. Yay!
But to brighten our day, to cheer us up, we now enter the moment. And I swear he's trying to make this the hour of Sven. Look at how long these things are getting.
I'm going Italian on this one.
Yeah,
I have no idea what the quote is.
It looks like he's talking about Nostradamus there or something.
Vediamo i nostri clienti come ospiti invitati a una festa e noi siamo I padroni di casa.
Oh, wait a minute. And he's saying Jeff Bezos. First of all, I call bull on Sven because I don't even think Bezos knows Italian.
Yeah, so how is translated?
Oh, wait a minute. I said something about Jeff Bezos, and all of a sudden this Echo device that I haven't thought about in years just perked up.
So don't say anything bad about him.
All right, Sven, you got to let us know. First, we were just interested in the language. Now we have to know what the full-blown translation of whatever this language is.
I'm saying Italian for the language.
And there he is, Italian. We see our customers as invited guests to I remember this quote. I don't remember Jeff saying it in Italian. All right, Sven. What's going on here? I sense Sven is putting a spin on this thing.
Yeah, he's running out of languages, so he's moving into quotes in languages that now we're supposed to translate them.
That's Sven. Once again, it's the minute of Sven.
Moment
of Sven, not hour. We don't. We want the high in languages.
That's right.
Oh, look at this. Look who is with us. Ginger.
Look, Playaz.
Bringing the as since 2009. Whatever that means.
I love that, but to your point, I have no clue what that means.
You got to be careful, but that as thing,
very careful.
Hey, Sahil.
Hey, Sahil, congratulations. He's going back to get his MBA.
Oh, very nice. Congratulations.
Congratulations, bud.
You know what? It's sad.
Proud of you.
Sad that when you say that, it's been, oh my God, 32 years since I got my MBA.
You know how long it's been since I got mine? Never.
Sorry, it was Italiano.
Mambo Italiano. Hey, Thomas. How you doing, buddy?
In the house. They did a CRM Convos yesterday on July the 4th. These guys never take any time off, apparently.
No, he did once because the happy hour didn't happen due to that technical glitch yesterday.
Oh no, no. I mean, they did a CRM Convos on July 4th.
That's what I'm saying. What's he care? He was born in Germany.
I mean, that does pose a question. The people over in England, how do they recognize that?
They don't.
It's just
not a holiday for them.
Just another day.
Canada has Dominion Day on July 1st.
Is it an old Dominion Day?
No, they're not. They don't. None of them went to school in Virginia, to my knowledge. So I doubt it.
Oh, okay. Well, glad
Thomas went sailing yesterday. I know that.
No, okay.
Because we didn't go to the happy hour, so he went sailing because of the glitch.
Well, wait a minute. There wasn't a happy hour, remember?
I know. Because of the glitch.
Yeah, there was a glitch.
So he just went sailing instead.
Thomas, next time we do a happy hour, we expect you to be on the water, attending the happy hour in the boat, sailing away. We usually have people driving, like Bob Figel has been about a good month straight driving to pick up his dog, so why not sailing? And he is taking off today. Look at that. Thomas is taking off today.
Sahil, do I look out of focus? Little? I can pull in. I put it in focus. But
not really, but you know what
I think I know what he's saying, but I kind of
it looks pretty sharp.
I could look. There's the bokeh in the background, but I'm not sure he means that.
You know what? It might be because my image is really sharp.
Yeah, well,
maybe he's just kind of comparing it. I don't know.
Yeah, it shouldn't. Mine shouldn't be that much less sharp. Even
now Thomas is bragging. Now he's talking about he's flying out to. Why is this not showing up? There it is. Why? StreamYard is having all sorts of issues here.
StreamYard always has also. I'm
flying out to Spain. Now you're definitely.
No, that was deliberate.
Now you're there. You're good.
Okay, Sahil, what do you think?
He says the focus seems to be a little in front of you.
I don't know what that means.
It looks good to me. I mean,
what do you mean a little in front? I'm using this app. This thing is what helps me pull focus.
Now I think now he's saying you're good.
Okay.
All
right.
Good to know. All right. All right. So we got cool show. We got one guest and one unguest. How do you? I guess that's it's not a guest.
It's like an uncola.
No, he's better than that. We can't do that to him. But we do have a couple of things to announce. One is a launch, and one is a relaunch, right?
Yeah. Or else a lunch and a relaunch.
Lunch and launch?
A lunch and a lunch. You want to do the relaunch first since the announcement
go ahead.
The launch? Okay, so as many of you don't know, since none of you listened, Talking Headless has been
that's kind of
out of action since I don't know, March, maybe it was the last one I did. And the reason was format was too long. It was an audio podcast only. I was getting decent downloads and listens and all that. Nothing great, but decent. Anyway, on it was on Spotify and so on and so forth. But as part of the overall change to what we're doing with PPN, all shows are going live stream. Every show we're doing is going live stream. We have no pre-recorded shows. And there'll be an announcement about Engage with Paul and Kenny coming soon, too. So what I'm doing is I'm relaunching Talking Headless as a video live stream show. It will be Tuesdays at 12 noon Eastern time. It will be, instead of the hour it has roughly been and the 3 segments, it will be, I'll call it 1.5 segments in about 30 minutes max, 25 to 30 minutes. And here's how it's going to be formatted. Aside from the little intro and the outro stuff, I'm going to do a hardcore analyst conversation with one person, me. I'm going to be Talking Headless, right? A hardcore conversation with myself on a single company in the industry, what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, where they need to go, all in the first 20 minutes. And then I'm doing a segment, which will be 5 minutes, and it's entitled What I Hate and What I Love. And I'm going to tell you one thing I hate and one thing I love, and why I hate it and why I love it. And there'll be 2 different things, by the way. I'm not schizophrenic here. So
this is going to be like a head versus heart conversation you're going to have with yourself.
No, because head versus heart can both be positive. What I hate is what I hate. It's going to be something I dislike intensely. Is it always going to be about the industry? No. It could be maybe even a movie for all I know. Just depends on what moves me at the moment. So, Talking Head, single company, the good, the bad, what to do, and what I hate what I love, and outro and end of show. And I expect all of you this time to be there Tuesdays, starting July 25th. I think that's the last Tuesday of every month, July 25th at 12 noon Eastern. And we'll be putting out notifications on that. I'm working on the final touches right now.
Oh, look at that. Your new headless outline sounds interesting, Paul. That must be
Bob.
Austin.
Boston Bob.
No, I was going to say Austin.
Oh, Austin. Yeah, it's Austin.
It's probably Bob.
Bringing the less in headless.
Very cool. And so that's the relaunch. You'll hear soon about the launch of a brand new PPN show from a familiar face. You'll hear about that in a minute. But before we do that, why don't we do this?
Hi, Sarita. Sarita.
Oh, is that who it is? Oh, look who it is, Sarita. We like
Sarita. Way too
Sarita.
long, my dear. Oh, love her. You would be in the what I love part, my dear.
Nice. Very nice. You know, of all the conversations at all the events last year, I enjoyed mine with her because we, for the most part, talked about sports the whole time.
I know.
Lots of fun.
She's definitely one of us.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of, how do I segue this? Sarita, like I said, last year, one of the favorite conversations at an event, but we just finished the first 6 months of this year. And last week we talked, we talked we got the crew, we got Liz, we got Rebecca, we've got Don, we've got our new buddy Mark. We brought them all together to talk about all the stuff that they witnessed, experienced, thought about the first half of the year when it came to conferences. We spent a really good 45, 50 minutes chopping it up with them. I condensed it into 30 seconds. So we're going to play the 30 seconds because really the full 50 was great. But if you just really want to have what do you call it? Like a crib notes or I don't know what,
a crib. What were they called? No, what was that called?
What do you call that? Like
I can't remember.
A trailer? Is it a trailer? Like a
no,
30-second trailer?
No, there was a name for the little skinny pamphlet-ish books that came, which were the.
I thought it was Cliff Notes. Cliff Notes.
Cliff Notes. That's it. Cliff Notes.
So I have put together 30 seconds of Cliff Notes so that I still suggest you go and watch the full 50 minutes. But if you had to watch just 30 seconds of what these folks said about the event season, and they talked about basically all the events they went to, and Liz has gone to 150 events already this year. So it's been a lot. And Rebecca has probably been to about half that many. Patrick has also been to about 20. I'd like to know what Patrick says about that eventually.
Patrick's meant to the Westminster Kennel Show.
So I'm going to play this 30-second clip. This is all you really need to know about what took place the first 6 months of the conference season. Here we go.
To what you saw as the overarching theme of most of these events.
We can all probably say it along together. Step 1, walk out on the stage, say that we're really excited to be back together. Oh my God, it's so good to be back in person. Step 2, we've got AI.
Step 3, it will not replace you.
Step 4, this is new, but we've been doing it forever. Everyone else is wrong with it. We're the best at it.
Number 5, it's vaporware. It'll be out at the end of 2024.
That was actually 28 seconds, but I rounded up. It just sounds better. I don't know. But
pretty good.
That pretty much encapsulated the whole event season in like 28 seconds.
And it was absolutely on point with the 1 or 2 conference exceptions. I'd say the 2 exceptions were Verint and Pros, at least in my experience, that kind of we got AI and that's all we're talking about.
I'll throw Peg in because they brought it in from
fair enough.
Much different perspective. So I appreciated that. All right. So If you want
Yeah.
to check out the full 50 minutes, go to go to our LinkedIn page or something like that. You'll see it. It's worth it. It's definitely worth it. You know what else is worth it? I'm trying to bring this up if I can find the actual slide. Oh, come on, man. I don't have that
Streaming
slide.
hard.
No, I'm looking for it. Oh, there it is. All right. That just ruined my segue. It just ruined the flow.
I know. Killed the timing.
Killed the time, but that's okay because, I think I need to do one thing before we talk about our next topic, which is the launch of a new show on the network. So before I do that, I'm going to play this, and this will kind of give people a little bit of an idea of what's going to happen.
Warning. The following content may contain elements that are not suitable for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
That's right, folks. We had to break that out because we are launching a brand new show with a familiar face. It's called Whispered Insight. You know what? I almost broke out the George Michael.
No.
Because I would, you know what? He should name it Careless Whispered Insights. Careless Whispered Insight.
And then PPN could have its first lawsuit against it for copyright violations. Yay!
The one and only Esteban. You know what somebody told me to say, to how we bring him on today?
No.
You know how, and this is going to come up too a little later. You know how I call you the Venerable Paul Greenberg from time to time, particularly during a certain
from time to time, literally from 3 to 4 every Thursday.
So
from time to time.
You know how I'm not going to out this person, but you know how somebody said, since you call the Venerable Paul Greenberg, maybe you could come up with a term, which I think we've already come up with a term. Well, we come up with several terms for Esteban Kolsky, but I'm gonna do this to join me in the Venerable Paul Greenberg on right now. I'm going to bring on the irascible Esteban Kolsky.
I knew you were going to say that. I know who said that.
I don't think I can live up to the expectations you both just laid out for me.
Irascible is perfect for you.
Wow. Thank you.
You are the irascible Esteban Kolsky without a doubt.
Thank you. I don't know.
And thank you.
And you're not a psychopath.
Yeah. And thank you for joining the PPN family with Careless Whispered Insights.
My pleasure.
There we go. Lawsuit time.
There's not going to be any lawsuits. I'm gonna follow my therapist's advice, and I forgot what she said, but she said something. So whatever she said, I'm gonna do. Basically. So thank you for making the time for this. Empathic thoughts. No.
What are you on, like on the side of the road, taking
I am. So this week I'm out in the heat wave for the Pacific Northwest of 85, 90 degrees, hiking the Cascades and navigating the Deschutes River in Oregon. And thanks for making the time. And unfortunately, I don't have a headset or anything more than my phone, which works only when I come down into town. So I came down here just for you guys.
Oh,
just for you.
Wow.
Thank you.
You literally hiked down the mountain?
In my Jeep.
All right. So here's the first
RV.
First question about your show, because Thomas kind of jumped the gun, because I was like, all right, Careless Whisper. How did you come up with the title? Because no one has ever heard you whisper before. So
Well, actually, so there's two definitions for whisper, right? One is a very soft speech, like we must think about when we say whisper, but also whisper is the way you communicate secrets that are only meant to be for the person who hears them, right? And I've been writing about it for the last few weeks on LinkedIn, and I've been saying we have a really critical crisis. I've been saying this for a while, but it's becoming more cumbersome now that we have this whole world of what was it that Liz said? We have AI. So what does it mean and what does it do? So one of the things that I've done in the last few months since I left my previous post and before I decided what I want to do is I've been talking to a lot of people, and the common glue for everything is virtually everybody on the vendor side, on the provider side, executive level, nobody knows what the fuck to do with it. Pardon my language. What the heck to do with this, right? Nobody knows what it means to them. They'll say, okay, I get insights, I get AI, yeah, I get machine learning, I get all this stuff, call it whatever you want, but what does it mean to me? And nobody knows what it means. And the worst part of that is like the people that they look to when in a time of crisis to try to make sense of it are becoming not really dependable when it comes to actually providing good direction that it means for that company, for that person, right? So the concept of whisper is like, let's come up with an insight. Let's not talk about AI. I'm tired of talking about AI. I'm sure you're too. Everybody is. I'm tired about machine learning, large language models, ontologies, taxonomies. We can put all the words together, but I'm tired of that. But what does it mean to you as an executive? You're a CEO, you're a CPO, you're a CMO, you're a CRO. You're making decisions that matter to your organization. How do you make that decision? Who do you trust for insights on the technology, insights on the market, insights of the world that actually will give you a much better way to actually produce and deliver what you're looking for? And that's the concept of Whisper Insights. It's like, let's look at all this stuff that is coming out. Let's narrow it down to the stuff that actually matters, and let's see how that applies to you, Mr. Executive, and how you're going to use that to make decisions and actually implement and go forward. And that's the whole idea of Whisper Insights. Now, because you know me, since you made those disclaimers, you know that it's all about the conversation. It's not about the insight. It's about the conversations. How do we get there? How do we get to that insight? Let's talk out loud. Let's not have these conversations behind closed doors that only apply to you. Let's talk out loud. Let's get the insights that matter to you, but let's talk out loud about the process of getting there. Let's show the work that it got us there, right? When we were in math class, we were told to show our work or you didn't count. Well, let's show the work. I mean, there's all these charlatans out there going like, AI is not going to take your job, but somebody using AI will. Please, give me a fucking break. I mean, seriously. If you're going to make that an insight, I mean, get another job, get a real job or something, The insight would be like, what would a person using AI would contribute to you or your company? That's the insight. How do you actually specify that? Let's show the work that it gets to get to that. And that's what this show is going to be about. It's about having those conversations. I'll pause so you can actually ask any questions, but I can keep going. I have the format of the show. I can tell you about what we're looking for. I can tell you anything else, but do you have any questions? No,
Yeah.
good.
Are you going to actually talk to other people, or are you just going to?
Well, that's the next part. Excellent segue, Paul. It's almost like we practice. So, the idea is not for me to talk because I hate to just talk by myself. I know it's hard to believe, but it is.
No.
But I have 4 co-hosts with more potentially to come, but there are 4 people who were brave enough to agree to do this. In no particular order because they're all excellent at what they do. Dr. Lauren Vargas. And if you know Lauren Vargas, Lauren is just one of the most intelligent, most amazing people ever met. She's a doctor because she has a PhD in museum sciences or something like that. She knows more about communities and how to actually embrace and engage communities. She's working on projects that are going to change the way we actually communicate as between each other and how museums present the information, art, and everything to people in the digital world. She's absolutely amazing, out of this world, and we had several conversations that would be fantastic to put in front of people. These people are people that I talk to constantly, and I would like to put these conversations in front of the public. This is why I'm bringing them as co-host, right? The next one is Alan Bergson, and we all know Alan. Alan is recently independent advisor to startups, and he's doing a great job at that. But Alan and I had conversations probably 2-3 times a week, and they're truly outstanding conversations. We used to have a show called We Should Have Recorded That. The format destroyed the conversation, but we're making changes and we're bringing it back. What was it? The Broheimer. Did I get that right? John Reed?
No. Brohammer, not Heimer.
Sorry, I'm not good at names. But John agreed to do this, and when I said, "Hey, is it okay if I mention your name?" He said, "Yeah, sure, whatever." So he's in. But there's very few people in this world that know more about the world of enterprise tech than John does, to be fair. And he doesn't really hold punches, and he doesn't really kowtow to anybody. So it will be great conversations about how this applies to enterprise tech. Let's go beyond the enterprise tech. Let's talk to communities. Let's talk at executive level. And finally, the last one, the absolutely most wonderful person that you had in the show in the last few weeks, which is Liz Miller. And if you know Liz's history, you know why she's here. But Liz and I can have conversations about virtually anything that really leave very few icons and idols standing. And that's the whole idea, right? We have an iconoclast, we have an enterprise tech historian, we have a community expert, and we have an executive conversation expert. And that's how we get started. In addition to that, I have a few people that I'm reaching out to be guests on the show, to come and have the conversations with us for different parts of different things. I can't give any names because they're not locked in yet, and I don't want to make any promises I cannot keep, unlike what I said to my 2 ex-wives. So, we're in a good place then.
So
And
when
that I was going to say, when does that take place? When is the first one?
Oh my goodness! Thank you for asking, Brent. We never practiced this. That's an amazing question. Nobody would have expected that. I think we're going to do it every 2 weeks initially, starting next Tuesday, May 11th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11
May
a.m.
11th.
Pacific.
Are you going back in time, buddy?
May 11th?
It's July 11th.
Oh, in July already? Yeah. I haven't had a job in like 6 months, dude. I don't know what I'm doing.
All right, awesome.
July
All right.
11th, 2 p.m. Tuesday.
Yes.
With Insights.
Through the Playaz Production Network, of course, because there's no better channel in the universe.
Don't worry, we got the voiceovers and everything else to take care of that.
Hey, we got the voiceover, we got the disclaimers. We're ready to roll, man.
That's right.
So this is what I would love. If you have any topics that you or anybody who's listening, if anybody has any topics that you want to discuss, if you want to be a guest on the show, if you have somebody you'd like to recommend to come up, well, that's okay. You'll still be in our hearts, Tommy.
All right, man. No.
But if you have any topics or anything else, send me a message, send me a text, send me an email, put a comment below this thing, whatever you want to do. I'd love to. I'm putting together an agenda, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. All right. I see we've got our guest in the green room. I see him, but before we bring him out, I got to take the time, because guess what? Esteban, you want to play along with a little game, a short game? You know what the game is?
Crap.
Guess if ChatGPT knows more than I do. Thing?
No.
Let me tell you what the game is.
Okay.
And now it's time for
I'm gonna regret
Stump
this until
the
the day I die.
Godfather. With
I have
the
to regret
venerable
this every
Paul
damn week.
Greenberg. Brought
I
to
have
you
to
by
regret this
Microsoft
every
Dynamics
goddamn week.
365 Copilot.
That's right, folks. There's no regrets here, because
Yes,
nobody
there are.
regrets Stump the Godfather. It's the show that is
Except the
literally
Godfather.
that is
Except the
literally
Godfather, the only one who
taking
regrets it.
the internet by storm. So this is we'll do a short one, because
So what's my role in this role-playing game?
You just guessing. You guess an answer.
you guess at the question like the God. So I forgot what I called the dude. the venerable Paul Greenberg. Now we have the irascible Esteban Kolsky. And the question. Now I just got this. I'm not even telling you the sources, because I don't want people out there trying to find it so they can answer the question real quick.
This is easy.
Adults will spend more than how many hours on connected devices per day in the U.S. this year? Up from an hour from 2020.
It says up an hour, not
up an hour. Up an hour. Yeah, but it's still.
Who gets to go first?
You guys go. You go first. You're the guest. Irascible.
Right. So let's do a simple math. Okay. A normal person sleeps 6 hours a day, so that leaves 18 hours. Eating and other activities 2-3 hours, that leaves 15 hours. Time that you tell yourself I shouldn't be looking at my phone because I'm on a date or whatever, that's another hour or two, so that gets us into 13. So I would say 13 hours up from 12 in 2020.
Look, 700 in a day?
A day?
In one day?
Even I know that I think has less than 700 hours.
Wow.
All right, Esteban, what was your answer after all of that?
13
logical?
up from 12 in 2020.
So you're saying 13 hours a day. The average person in the U.S. spends 13.
Average. Oh, no, the average person 9. Me, 13.
Okay. All right, so your guess is 9. Rebecca, please feel free to reframe. Oh, you're per year. What? All right, I don't have a calculator on.
I am not.
That's an hour and a half.
That's 2 hours a day.
Yeah, not even.
5 days a year, 2 hours per day, roughly.
All right, so you're doing 9. Rebecca's doing some equation that I have to get
It's
calculus.
true, dude. 365 days, 700 divided.
All right, she's doing 2.
It's under
All right,
2.
Rebecca, 2. You might want to ask Patrick while we're talking about this, Rebecca. All right,
He barked twice.
So Venerable One, your guess is?
Well, I was going to say the same as Esteban, but just to be different, I'll say 8.
All right.
Oh, is this like the Price is Right? The closest to the price is not going over.
All right, so we got 9 from
$1.
Esteban.
$1. I say $1.
We got 8 from the Venerable Paul Greenberg. Rebecca. Oh, all right. Patrick says 3. Patrick says 3. Rebecca says 2. All right. The correct answer is, if we're all ready.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Sahil is putting in. All right. We
No,
got
no, no.
answers. We got
Sahil is saying 7.
We got Sahil at 7. We got Thomas in at 4. All right. We're locking in. We're locking in.
I'm just telling you what you're going to say.
The answer is. Ooh, Sahil, close, 7.5.
Hey, I'm literally as close as he is.
Without going over, dude.
That's
Without
true.
going over.
Wait a minute. Well,
I'm
that's right. But you went over.
I lost
said
your
8.
showcase.
He said 7. Hey, Sahil, let's split the difference, and we're both right.
7.5 hours a day on connected devices, and they break it down. Most of that is on mobile devices, but as you can see at the top there, connected TVs, their share is growing over time. Their share of time spent on these things, connected devices, is growing up. Mobile is kind of flattening. Laptops are just what the heck is the other? What other devices? What Zoom?
iPads, tablets,
okay.
smart devices, your phone, your iWatch.
I wonder would mobile only mean a phone, or could it mean a tablet too?
No, well, I think maybe that's the other. I don't know.
It says down there mobile devices, smartphones, feature
Watches,
phones, and tablets.
smart appliances.
Actually,
It says down there on the bottom what it is.
Yeah, what it is.
But the main answer was 7.5, and I deem, although Paul and Sahil are closest to it at equal distances.
Equidistant.
Sahil didn't go over, so we're gonna award the win for Sahil, but I'm not gonna give the Venerable Paul Greenberg a loss. That would be unfair.
So you're gonna give it to me? I have no problem with that.
Honestly, if you did,
You have no problem
I don't care. I don't care if you give me a loss. So,
well, I care, damn it, because this is a great game, and we all love to play this game.
And don't you insist on that every week.
And this game has been brought to you by Microsoft Dynamics 365 Copilot. We have been sponsored once again by AI for another rousing round of Stump the Godfather.
Can you read between the lines?
No.
Okay,
good. That was fun. I don't care what you guys say. We're gonna do it again.
I'm sure we will.
I like it.
I think we should do it every time, twice a day, every day.
All right. Big thanks to the irascible Esteban Kolsky, who will be doing, I almost said Careless Whispers again, Whispered Insights, coming to you next Tuesday.
By the way, the name is up for adoption. Anybody with money is welcome to suggest a new name.
All right. Go back to whatever you were doing before you got in the car, man.
I'm gonna go zip lining this afternoon.
Oh,
you're gonna go what?
Zip lining.
Zip lining.
Really?
Well,
yeah.
Just don't hurt yourself, because we need you to start your show.
I'll mostly be there in spirit.
All right. All right, man. Take it easy.
Thank you, gentlemen.
See you next week.
Bye, sir. Talk to you on the weekend.
That was fun. Lots of fun. But you know what? The fun continues. You know what is really one of my favorite parts of the show is when you do the guest introduction. And since you've never met our next guest, I can't wait for this introduction. So I turn things over to the venerable Paul Greenberg for today's guest introduction.
Okay, well, that is true. I literally have never met Peter. This is Peter van der Putten, who runs the AI labs for Pegasystems. Here's the deal. We were going to be talking to him at Pega World, but he couldn't make it due to something or another that happened. Although, to be honest, I have no idea what was
I heard he
more
didn't want to
important.
meet us for some reason. I don't know.
I just there couldn't be anything more important than meeting with us at that Pega World, so I didn't quite get that. But here's what I did hear from everybody. Everybody told me we talked about it, and he's been at Pega. It's got to be close to 2 decades from what I saw. But everyone told me, and I mean literally everyone I talked to about him, because I asked 2 or 3 people what's he like. They said, "Oh my God, he would have been a great guest. He's a terrific guy. He really knows his stuff, and he's just, I guess the word, I can't remember who, one of our 3 guests that we did talk to called him an incredibly engaging person." And again, we're going to find this out, but I'm excited because because of all the gossip I got about him, right? And it was all good. So why don't we bring him on so we can find out if all that gossip's true?
Thank you
There
for
he
joining
is.
us, Peter.
Hi there. Well, I was dying to meet you guys. Come on.
Oh no, we didn't want to be responsible for that. That would be
Yeah.
terrible. Right. So tell us. Look, I did notice that you've been at Pega pretty much forever, right? What's that? How'd that story work?
Yeah, like you're right. I've been there for some eons, since 2002, if I cheat a little bit. Yeah, I mean, what's behind it? I'm an AI guy. That's my background. Like, I started doing kind of AI in university in 1989.
Wow.
Doing tons of fun, researchy stuff. But then in the early 2000s, I was a little bit like I lost my I've done all the kind of interesting researchy stuff, but I really wanted to see like AI having impact. Yeah. So, and I stumbled across this company that was looking at like how AI could not just be artificial intelligence, but actionable intelligence. So I really like what the previous speaker said, like, what do you want to use the AI for in the first place, right? So, and that was really inspiring because it was really looking at, how do we put that intelligence into an interaction or into a process so that has meaningful impact? Yeah, so that's actually how I got to Pega. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, how did that get? I mean, how did that get you to Pega exactly? I mean, it could have been anywhere really. So why Pega?
I said a little bit, I was cheating because I joined a startup in AI, essentially in decisioning, like how to turn insight into actionable decisions in a customer process or interaction. And then 2 M&As later, we became part of Pega because at Pega we already had like great technology for automation, but the idea then was like, hey, if we already have the muscle to automate stuff, at some point you want to become smarter about what you're doing, right? So, and then came along the brain, that I've been working on. So brain and muscle together. That's a great combination.
So I was on your LinkedIn profile and you posed this really interesting, I don't know if it was a rhetorical question or it's just a thought, but you said, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't have it right in front of me right now. If we are able to have autonomous automobiles, why can't we have autonomous enterprises? And I was like, that sounds like a good thing to ask Peter when he comes on the show. So, talk a little bit about, I mean, because at Pega World, there, we got a really interesting, I thought one of the interesting parts of the keynote was tying together automation, AI, and this idea of the autonomous enterprise. Maybe you could kind of talk about how automation and AI are or should come together, and how does that lead to, this idea of an autonomous enterprise, and even what is an autonomous enterprise, really?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question, right? So in a way, autonomous enterprise could be a North Star, or where companies might be going next. If we think about autonomous systems, of course, indeed, the first example that comes to mind is an autonomous car, self-driving car. And let me debunk one myth straight away. When people hear autonomous, they think not in charge. But essentially, I think you're even more in charge if you're part of an autonomous system. If you think about an autonomous car, I set the destination. This is where I want to go. Yeah. But maybe I also make choices like, I want to get there as quickly as possible, or take me on a touristy ride, or whatever it is. And then the car constantly kind of sends, decides, acts, combines brain and muscle to get you towards the destination. So constantly kind of balancing those goals. So in a way, the autonomous enterprise is like an autonomous car. It's a self-driving business that applies both AI and automation to continuously optimize the goals that you have in the organization across, all your customer interactions and all your customer processes. And similar to how you can't really imagine an autonomous car, without AI, likewise, the autonomous enterprise actually requires AI. It's no longer just a nice to have. It's actually a must, similar to how you need intelligence in the car as well, right? Because the car needs to constantly kind of analyze all the data that's streaming at it, make sense of it all, turn it into split-second decisions, then take the actions, but also capture the outcome. And in a way, maybe it's strange as an AI guy, like what the previous speaker said, like, everyone is talking about AI, maybe we need a different word. There was this thing before AI, which was called cybernetics. Yeah, it's all about, cybernetic feedback loops, right? So how can we take actions, but also learn from that outcome and become better? If you think of marketing, this whole idea of closed loop marketing or evidence-based marketing essentially kind of embodies that same idea of a cybernetic feedback loop. And I think that clarifies things a lot, if that sounds a little bit academic, but when you talk to businesses, they go like, we are doing tons of AI. Yeah, what are you doing? Yeah, we have loads of data scientists locked in a basement running reports. Well, that's not about getting into a real-time feedback loop with your customers, of course, right? So whereas if you say, well, we're constantly making, like in a marketing context, constantly making offers across all channels. We're using both left brain and right brain AI to figure out what's most relevant, but we're also immediately learning from all the feedback we get. And we close the loop back from like a month to split-second learning from those interactions. Then you're really more into an autonomous way of, in this case, driving your marketing. But this could also apply to anything in your company, right? So turning your turning products more into service experiences, or doing more with less, becoming more effective and efficient in all of your business processes and stuff like that.
So if you go back several years, you and Pega was actually a leader in this too. You had robotic process automation. Yep. Then Phil First and Horses for Sources pushed the idea a little bit of, okay, RPA, that's over with, integrated automation, right? That was his next phase. Now we're talking autonomous enterprise, and I'm a little unclear, but is there any actual difference between the idea that, say, Phil and I think you guys kind of picked up on it too for a little while, integrated automation and what you're defining as an autonomous enterprise? Is there any difference? And if there is, what is it?
Yeah, no, I think Phil would tell you that there is a difference, because they're actually starting to move from intelligent automation into autonomous. And using those concepts as well, right? So I think it's exactly that maturity curve that you describe here. Like first, maybe all your work is not automated, so you just maybe the step one is to manage it, see what's happening with your customer processes, for example. Next step is to automate it. Awesome, you get benefits out of that, but at some point you're just more efficient at doing the wrong thing, right? So then you go like, let's move into intelligent automation. Let's sprinkle little bits and pieces of intelligent decisions and all these customer processes and interactions, which is great. It's the next level up in terms of driving more benefits. But when you think about autonomous, I think then it's really more about moving up a notch, right? We as the business, we set the goals for the business, what we want to achieve. Yeah. So, but the system automatically optimizes towards those goals. Yeah. So it really becomes more of a self-steering system, but with us still at the helm. Yeah. So let's say I gave a bunch of marketing examples, but let me switch to maybe something different, like let's take insurance. Let's take a core process for an insurer is claims, right? So you're getting these tons of claims, and they have multiple goals they need to balance. Like the most important thing is they need to pay out. They or need to help people that they just experienced like the most horrible moment in their life. They're insured, and you want to help them to get their problems resolved quickly. That's one. But the other thing is, you also want to make sure that you're not paying out if you shouldn't. You want to make sure that you point your members to the right body shop or whatever it is. You want to avoid fraud or leakage. If there's a third party, you can recover it on, etc. Right? So that's the vast majority of the whole P&L of an insurance company, that you control that as well. And at the same time, you have a limited set of claims agents who can do the work. So you have these multiple goals, and you want to have kind of systems, capabilities in place that constantly kind of balance all of that, right? So if it gets really, really busy, there was some major flood or disaster, you have finite resources. So maybe you want to automatically adapt and get a little bit more lenient on, the gray claims, where you normally would do more investigation. And now you say, well, good customer, yes, a little bit of a gray claim, but good customer, high value, payout, no questions asked. So then you can constantly self-optimize in this kind of dynamically changing environment, similar to how in a car, that could be a pedestrian jumping in front of your self-driving car, or another car is turning around. You need to be able to adapt, but you're still in charge by setting the goals. And then the interesting thing is, like, this sounds like very kind of rational decision-making type AI, people working together with that type of AI, left brain AI, if you wish. But like things like, excusez le mot, generative AI, right brain AI, can also play a role in that, of course, inserting more of the creative intelligence.
How do you piece together the different kinds of AI? Like Pega's been doing AI for years, a lot of predictive stuff, a lot of next best action kind of stuff. How does that work together alongside of these things that everybody's kind of been focused on the last 6 months ago with generative AI, large language models, ChatGPT kind of stuff? How are those two kinds or multiple kinds of AI, how should they be integrated together to drive this transformation to an autonomous enterprise?
Yeah, good question. Seems to be a little bug in your mic, Brent. I don't know what it is.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. That's the crickets, probably. Yeah.
Mic feedback.
Yeah,
Oh.
no problem.
Maybe I have my phone too close.
Okay, there you go.
Did you hear the question though? Did you hear the question?
Yeah, no, it's all clear.
Okay.
It is indeed a little bit of a left brain and right brain AI kind of working together. Like, obviously, when you read the news, it seems like the only AI that exists since November 30 last year is generative AI. Yeah, but of course, that left brain AI, that's the vast majority of the enterprise AI that's already deployed nowadays. And I think you need both to get good results. So to give you an example, right? So let's say in a marketing context, it's not my AI voice. I'm real. Well, mostly. So you could use generative AI to generate all kinds of indeed these next best actions and treatments that resonate better with a particular audience. And maybe you can see that particular campaigns are tanking. So it could be your AI that predicts who's likely to accept offers, but it could also be that the way you communicate that offer is not resonating, let's say, with millennials. And just to give an example, and then left brain AI could actually detect that and could say, hey, could identify what is the problem here. But then right brain AI could say, oh, let me generate like some variants of these offers and recommendations using different tone of voice, different persuasion styles, like social proof or authority or other type of Cialdini type marketing theory you would like to apply. And it's generating the new types of treatments you could use. And then the left brain, if the marketeer says, I said in the beginning, we're still in charge. So the marketer says like, I like this one, I don't like that one. This one needs to be a little bit different. Push button. Then, you're back into autonomous again because, maybe we should use a millennial style kind of treatment, see if that works better. Yeah. So, this way, the left brain AI and right brain AI is kind of working seamlessly together. Yeah. And I think both is needed actually to get to the autonomous enterprise.
So let's go completely different direction for a minute. And I mean, one of the persistent, semi-strange, but understandable arguments that is continually out there, I think a lot of it generated by that specific Google guy who was freaking out so much, was on AI sentience, right? And I mean, I'm not a believer in that really, because AI is limited by the intelligence of the people who create it, right? So is that, from your perspective, given your long history in it, is that even a reasonable assumption that it could be sentient at any point? Or is it just kind of I'll call it a dumb but explainable fantasy?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. You see the evil eye of Mordor behind me, right? So I need to be a little bit careful here what I say.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm with you. Like the Google guy Blake Lemoine had with his thing, like, oh, Lambda, my large language model became sentient last summer. It feels like 100 years ago. That's of course a little bit ludicrous. But it's also somewhat understandable in a way, right? Because think about it, like, why is AI such a topic, right? So I think it's two things, one is it's the two F's. Yeah. One is the F of fear, right? So, and fear sells, like we all like horror movies. Yeah. So in a way that actually makes it even more interesting. But of course, we thought we were at the center of the universe. Along comes the AI. Is it going to take our place? Question mark, right? So it plays into that fear of losing control. No wonder that the biggest science fiction movie in the 1920s was Metropolis, a movie about a robot taking over the world, right? Or even the word robot comes from the play, a Czech play from the 1920s.
Karel Čapek.
Exactly. Yeah, right. Exactly. Was some universal robots. So,
that's right.
But if we would only be afraid of AI, it would have evaporated. Stuff we don't like, we get rid of it. But we're also fascinated by it. I think that fascination is not really a fascination with AI, actually. It's kind of a fascination with ourselves, right? So who are we? What is it? What makes us human? Not just intelligence, but lots more, creativity, emotions, all of those things, And then, yes, AI scientists are studying that. But, 50,000 years ago, a bunch of Neanderthals were also talking about these things next to a campfire, right? So, so that's ultimately kind of a healthy or unhealthy, whatever you think it is, fascination with ourselves. And we do have this kind of tendency to project lifelike things onto the others, right? So, which is also not weird. That's how we survive, So by it's probably a good assumption that I'm talking to real people here. Or 50,000 years ago with the Neanderthal, if a big woolly object comes running at you with these big tusks coming out of their nose, you don't go like, are you an object or are you an entity, right? You go like, no, run, the mammoth is coming after me, right? So this whole idea of us projecting these type of qualities onto the other, that's really, it's ingrained in us, right? So I think all these things are.
I think also can't underestimate the impact of things just like to your point about RUR and Karel Čapek and Metropolis movies and Skynet. Skynet actually weirdly had a real impact on people. Like went pretty far. I mean, people believe that was a future credible threat, right? So.
I think, to be honest, I understand and completely respect the concerns that people have around AI. I'm completely against pausing letters because super intelligence is coming and taking over the world. Right. Actually, because it's sucking the air out of the real important discussion, and that's what are the present day opportunities of AI, and also what are the present day harms of AI. The present day harms of AI primarily not because AI is super intelligent. It's more about artificial unintelligence, right? So biased decisions, or decisions that are not transparent, or no ability to layer rules on top of what all these super duper machine learning models are telling you, right? So I think it's way more important to talk about present day opportunities and risk and harms of AI, and how to deal with that. You hear the funny accent. I'm calling here from sunny Amsterdam, right? So in the EU, good socialist as we are, we're introducing kind of all kinds of regulation around the EU AI Act, how to make sure that we apply AI in a trustworthy and responsible manner. But I think that's a good thing. It will only lead to innovation of like sustainable, responsible, trustworthy AI. And actually in the US, there's a lot of, there's also developments in that area. It's a little bit behind, but the White House published the US AI Bill of Rights, which a little bit more of policy doc. Yeah, so it's not at the stage of regulation just yet. But I think more and more people are talking about how can we make sure that we use AI the right way. And that's just I think that's just a sign of maturity. Like when we're out of the childhood years, we've been through tons of AI summers and winters. Yeah. But we're getting into puberty, and when we get into puberty, it's no longer just a cute kid. We also need to give it a little bit of rules to make sure that that we grow out of puberty into kind of adulthood. Yeah. And sensible use of AI in customer interactions and business processes and whatnot.
Before we let you go, what are maybe a couple of the things that people need to know about this? What could potentially happen as these technologies get more ingrained and used, and the transformation goes to this autonomous enterprise. What are the things that people aren't thinking about that they should be thinking about if they really want to live in a world where the autonomous enterprise exists?
Yeah, like I think the big thing here is that that's playing back into the F of fear. And when people talk about AI, they talk about artificial intelligence replacing us, etc. But AI is very much like a human technology, like with all its benefits, with all its flaws, right? So it's designed by humans. There's tons of choices that are being made when we build these AI systems, and they do become much like wider reaching. Yeah, so if we go from artificial intelligence to augmented intelligence to actionable intelligence to autonomous intelligence, it will be powering all these interactions, all these processes. But I think agency, the idea that we are actually that we want to be in charge of it, I think that's really important. I think that's why I'm kind of keen to get rid of this whole robot take over the world meme, and that we see that it is something that we could or should control. And even if and it's not like just a little toy for the data scientists, it's something that drives top level strategic goals for companies, but also as citizens and as consumers, right? So we shouldn't just be like social media literate. We should also become more AI literate, right? So and demystify it all and try, and hopefully understand a little bit better what it is and what it isn't, so that we can also express what it is, what we want from it, right? So because we've done some research, and when we talk to customers, actually they do expect that companies they're dealing with, for example, over 2/3 of customers really expect companies to use AI to provide better customer service and better customer experiences, right? So people are not just afraid. On the flip side, they do have these expectations from companies that are using AI in a smart way and in a good way. And good is all the talk about bias and transparency and difficult stuff aside, it's really simple. You need to have these automated systems should act in the interest of all the stakeholders. So could be the company. Of course, you have your commercial goals in marketing and operations and service and whatnot, but also in the interest of the customer. I think that's, if you apply that very simple rule, like to marketers, that will make sense. But I think it's not more difficult than that, right? So that's how we should design the autonomous enterprise. That's how we should design our AI systems, right? So, and then it's something that customers don't just accept. No, it's something that customers want, something that customers expect from you.
Amen.
Awesome. Well, Peter. Thanks. And we know it's late over there. What time is it over in Amsterdam right now?
It's what is it? Where are we? We're 10 p.m.
10 p.m. Oh my God. Oh, thank you so much for
Yeah.
staying up with us, because this was a great conversation. We enjoyed it, but there's one last question that we have to ask you, because as much as we've enjoyed this conversation, depending on how you answer this, we may never speak to you again. So this is like, serious stuff here. I don't even know. Do you even pay attention to American football?
Oh, not that much actually, to be honest. Yeah.
You know what? That's okay. It's a perfectly acceptable answer. There's only one bad answer, and that ain't it. So we will be glad to speak to you. And really, we would love to, maybe next year at Pega World, get a chance to finally meet you in person too.
Yeah, that would be great.
Awesome.
Love to come back on the show.
Awesome. All right.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much again, and thanks for the time. And we'll definitely be speaking to you in the future. And I'll definitely be checking out your LinkedIn profile, because you put a lot of interesting stuff there. All right. Thanks again, man.
All right, Peter. Thank you, my friend.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was great.
Yeah, he really, it's amazing how well he articulates everything. One phrase that sort of captured me, even though it was just mentioned in passing, when he called generative AI right-brained AI.
Oh, I know that would catch you.
Yeah, it did. And I never thought of the AI from left brain, right brain, but he's right. He's correct.
By the way, Sarita, I know who that is. That is definitely Sarita. The answer is not the Seahawks.
You know the answer, Sarita.
Well, her answer is the Seahawks, but
right.
No, all right.
And one thing before we close too, I want to do a shout out to Michael Klein, who was on the call, listening in today. Michael just launched his own consulting company, so congratulations, my friend. And he is like the master of retail. He ran Adobe's retail practice for many years. If anybody I've ever met knows his stuff when it comes to the retail world, it is him, period. He's just absolutely incredible. So Michael, congrats on your consulting companies already. If you take a look, you'll see he's already involved in some things. So big shout out to that guy.
Cool. And did Peter also hit us up with autonomous intelligence?
No, we were talking about intelligent automation.
No, he came with something new there. It was either autonomous intelligence or something. It was something new. That was there you go.
Michael, you are just a rock star, dude. You really are.
I think I'm gonna have to listen to the tape, because I think he slipped in something new there, like autonomous intelligence. I mean, wow. I mean, where is this stuff gonna go next? This is really interesting. But that was a cool conversation, and I'm so glad that we were able to finally get him on. And that's some stuff to look out for. That's a lot of. I don't know how many companies are really ready for a lot of this. I think a lot of them think they are, but are they really?
Well, it's interesting. He was kind of defining the RPA to intelligent automation to autonomous enterprise as a maturity curve, right? Which was a maturity model, right? Which was interesting. You kind of put it in those terms. So most companies are probably barely RPA, if anything, at this point, right? So, I think, and they're all leaping to try to understand, what they're facing here with AI, but I don't think they're close to that yet.
Is it a leap of faith?
Depends on how much faith you have in AI, right? I guess, but I don't know.
Hey, real quick, Sahil asked us way early in the show if I could find that about. Oh my gosh, I thought I saw something where. Oh, here it is. What do you guys have to say about threads from Meta?
I've only looked at it a little bit, and I've been reading about it. I'll put it this way: if the early reviews or anything, let's just say the threads are very frayed.
Well,
really frayed. Like it's not getting very good. But it's early though. I mean, who knows? And it's Instagram, so we'll see. We'll see how it works. I don't know. It's too early to say anything. Ultimately,
I'm gonna play off of what you said, and I'm gonna go to Alan Treffler. Afraid. That's what instead of afraid, afraid.
Afraid.
There you
Yeah.
go. I like that.
I mean,
Look.
Twitter's ripe for replacement.
Yeah, it is, but is
This isn't
Facebook the company
necessarily
to
it.
do it? I don't
No, not
I
really.
don't- they're already like the EU has already said no thanks from a privacy concern. They're like,
Yeah.
you know what I think they called their privacy is an abomination or something like that. I thought they've been listening to you talk about bagels, but apparently,
Blueberry bagels.
well, there it is.
Be
All right.
specific.
I'm not one of the 10 million people that downloaded it. I don't want that
not
anywhere
either.
near my phone at the moment. So
I don't use Instagram enough to want to do that anyway to begin with. So I mean, I use it a little bit, but not enough. I mean, I'd like to use it more, but I don't. Instagram, as much as it is, it's a limited platform in terms of scope, right? And not scope for what it does fundamentally, but specifically around things like this, it's narrow. Now
Yeah.
Instagram's pretty narrowly defined, so we'll see.
yeah, we'll see. I'll let everybody else get up there. Oh, now it's up to 15 million. Yeah, I'll let you guys blaze that trail. I'm not big on the gram to begin with, so but very interesting. We'll see how it goes. I'm curious to see how people like it, because quite honestly, yeah, Twitter is, I don't know what dude is doing, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
All right. And one thing I'm really glad about is my battery on my camera. It's gone over an hour. This is great.
This is one of those things where it'll go dead in like 3 seconds. Now.
It's gonna go
Now
dead
that you said that.
any minute, but it's gone well over an hour, which I was thinking I'd be glad if it made it just an hour. But hey,
Well, remember when we were at Pega World, my battery with that same camera failed after about an hour. It went dead, and we had to switch off to the MacBook Pros. While I swapped the battery out.
Yeah. Well, we're going to end the show before I have to swap the battery.
Right.
But
Good
this
point.
has been another good one. Oh man, from Careless Whispered Insights to Peter coming and joining us. Great show.
Potential lawsuits and potential takeovers of intelligent sentient AI.
That's all right. We got the disclaimer, so we're
right.
good.
We're good.
All right.
Fair harbor, safe harbor statement coming next.
In the meantime, I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
We are the CRM Players, and you know what happens before we say goodbye.
There she is.
Now we can say goodbye.
So long.